First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Quadash, and double honors to those green millstone, while unto truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I'd like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of today's lesson is Motb update. So I'd like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this helped you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power. Which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I did a quick Google search. What's the difference between a RFID chip and CBDC? So let's read this quick Google search. And it reads, it said RFID and CBDC are distinct technologies with different purpose. So RFID, radio frequency identification, is a technology for identifying and tracking objects using radio waves, while CBDC, central bank digital currency, is a digital form of a nation's currency issued by its central bank. So we already know that they have different purposes, but one thing about it, they all are going to work on one main ultimate goal, which in fact is the MOTB. You know, that grain of rice. You shall not be able to buy or sell without having neither one of these things right here. You know, so one thing about it, we don't know about the RFD microchip, tracking and tagging, surveillance, and also this digital platform, which in fact it's going to be digital money. That's why they want to do away with the fiat currency. They're going to bring forth this new currency, you know what I'm saying? So the RFID, which in fact this technology is already here, and also this digital CBDC, which in fact is this blockchain technology, is going to work hand in hand with that grain of rice, so you can understand a little bit better. So let's get a little bit more of this. It said RFID purpose. It said primarily used for identification, tracking, and inventory management of physical objects. So we already know it. When I first heard about this RFD chip, you know, they was putting it in. They started putting it in pets. You know, if you lost your pet or whatever like that, the pet wandered off, you can, you know, or if it was stolen, whatever, you can identify it by this RFID, you know, this radio frequency identification, you know, so it started that way. Now, you know, a lot of people are getting it under their skin. You know, have to be YouTube friendly or follow YouTube guideline, or they will pull the video that I can go into a little bit deeper, but we got to keep it, you know, whereby, you know, it's fair use, it's, this is only for educational purpose, it's all this is for, but one thing about, fair use, so, but I have to say that all the time. They will pull the video down. So let's read this once again. It's a RFID purpose, primarily used for identification, tracking, inventory management, and physical objects. You already know about the past. Now they have them in, in people's now, in their right hand or in their forehead. We know about the Neuralink, so all these things are working hand in hand, so it's getting ready to go to a cashless society where you will not have to use credit cards anymore, your banking history, your medical records, your driver's license, pretty much everything about you is going to be on this chip. So it's going to work hand in hand with this new money that they're getting put into place. So we're going to read a little bit more to get the difference before. But one thing about it, even though they have different purpose, but it's all for the same ultimate goal, which in fact is that grain of rice, the MOTB, the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Revelation chapter 13. So this is lining up. I'm just going into it a different way. It said mechanism. It said users. It said uses small radio chips, tags attached to objects which communicate with readers to transmit information. So we already know what happened back in 2020, when people, took what's called the jibber jab, and a lot of people right now are walking receivers, what I'm saying, which in fact, you already had, it was already rumors that a lot of people could connect to Wi-Fi, so it's a lot of those things that happen. So we already know what it's going. It's going to be dealing with your biometrics. It's going to be dealing with AI, transhumanism. A lot of these things are coming into play. So, these are just step one, step two, step three until they get to the final step. So one thing about it, we're almost there. They're getting ready to roll it out. We already know that they're getting ready to do away with this physical money, this fiat money, this petrodollar. So we already they're getting ready to implement a new system. We already know about this real ID. So it's all these things gonna work hand in hand for that main goal. All roads lead to that grain of rice. It says here, let's read that once again. It said mechanism. It said uses. It says small radio chips tags attached to objects which communicate with readers to transmit information. So you already know a lot of people right now, walking device, they're tracking you right now. Also, there's already rumors that the C-hip was already in that jibber jab. You understand what I'm saying? It's an application that supply chain management, access tracking, retail inventory, access control, and more. So this type of these RFD they got RFD readers like in different retail store like Walmart, Walgreens, Targets, and it's already in place. Face recognition, eye retina scan, palm reading. We go over these things left and right. They're already rolling it out in China, the UK. What's the other? It's another place too, Sweden. And many other places. So it's already here in America, but they just hadn't implemented just yet. So the technology is already here. It says examples say using RFI tags or inventory in a warehouse to track their location and movement. So we already have that. Like when you get something online, you can track your purchase. Your merchandise, through this RFID readers, these scanners, these barcodes, the QRC codes. You understand what I'm saying? Tracking and tagging. See where this is leading to. You understand what I'm saying? So now let's go here. So you got a pretty good idea of what RFID, what it means. Radio frequency identification. So it's about dealing with information and transmitting and receiving. You understand what I'm saying? And tracking. Surveillance. So that's what that is going into. That's one step. A CBDC. It says the purpose is to create a digital representation of a nation currency issued by a central bank. So that's what they're getting ready to do, to roll out this new digital format, whereby it's going to be digital programmable, also implantable. So that's what they're getting ready to go. And they're already telling you about this real ID. That real ID is going to lead to the digital ID, a digital wallet, so whereby you're going to have to have it to be able to buy or sell or do anything. So you see where this is going. And here's the mechanism. It said utilize digital ledger technology like blockchain to record and manage transactions, buying and selling. Revelation chapter 13 and 16. So we see where all this is lining up to these RFD, microchips, and also the CBDC. All this is going to work hand in hand. You see how this coming together. It says here, and I'm hoping you get to that blockchain technology, 5G, 6G blockchain technology. Big Brother is watching. Look that up. It's only thing I can say on that. It said applications. It said payment systems, financial inclusion, potentially more efficient monetary policies, and potentially reduce risk in cross-border payments. So it's showing you this system, how it's going to be running. So it's going to be a global system. You know what I'm saying? One world currency, one world government, and one world religion. That's what it is headed to. The NWO. They want total control. So we already know when the money go, all hell is going to break loose. The end of the dollar is once again, it's the end of America. So we already know about the economy constantly up and down. But we know that DJ Donald Trump, has put a hold on the tariffs right now. So we seeing right now saying that the economy is constantly stabilizing right now. But we already knowing that that all hell is going to break loose. We knowing that we coming upon a great economic collapse. They can't do nothing to stop this train from coming because the Lord already said it's going to happen. So that's what we're longing for each and every day, for this place to be finished, to be totally destroyed. So now it got here key difference. So they got side by side, they got RFID, and they got CBDC. They got it side by side. Both of these technologies, says here, radio frequency identification. So we know that's what RFID mean, in dealing with what radio waves. CBDC is a digital ledger technology, which in fact that digital ledger technology is what blockchain technology, what they're gonna be using, pushing this new digital format out, this new digital infrastructure that they're putting into place right before your eyes. Very soon, we constantly warning you left and right, and it says the purpose for this RFID is identification and tracking. See that tracking and of physical object, including yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, see where this is going. Surveillance, tracking, tagging. See? You know what I'm saying? Also digital. You know what I'm saying? That digital would mean that it's going to be a digital transfer where they're going to be able to keep up with that any given time. They're going to have the power to deduct, add, and subtract. So this is where this is going. Total control. Digital form of national currency. So that digital form of national currency is going to be this new blockchain technology working hand in hand with this CBDC. So this digital money. That's why you have to have this real ID, these digital IDs. You know what I'm saying? It's going, and also eventually you're going to have to take this under your skin because they're getting ready to do away with the cell phone. They're getting ready to do it all, do away with 18, they're getting ready to do with debit card, your credit card, all they're getting ready to do with ATM machine, because you getting ready to be the walking device. You see what it's going, transhumanism. Already knowing that they're having an AI take over. A lot of these jobs right now are shutting down, and a lot of these things are becoming more AI, or they're using a lot of robotics. When you look at the movie, iRobot and several others, showing you what they're getting ready to do. It said physical objects and inventory, just showing the uses. So you get around to it, look this up. You know what I'm saying? So it said user. It said typically not a central bank, but it's going to work hand in hand with that. So a central, this digital and this tracking system is going to work hand in hand. That's basically what this. When you sum it all up, it's a tracking and a surveillance system what they're putting into play. Total control. Keep up with your movement 24/7 a day. You know what I'm saying? You will not be able to buy or sell. You will not be able to do anything. 15-minute cities will get ready to come into play. So that's just what I want to get out of, see if anything else I want to do. It says right here, more examples of tracking inventory. It said in a store. So, they're going to be tracking all this. They already have this technology already here, face recognition, palm, biometrics. All of these things are already in place. We're not ignorant of Satan device. It says here with the CBDC, saying making digital payments with a digital currency. So that's how you're gonna be starting making. That's gonna be the new way of paying for things. How you're gonna be buying and selling, doing your transaction right here. So we seeing how the RFID and also CBDC, they have different purpose, but they have only one main goal. Ultimate goal is that grain of rice. So when it work hand in hand, it's the mark of the beast. So we already know that the Lord already said, do not take it. Let's get a little bit more. It says, in essence, said the RFID is a technology for tracking physical items. It said, while CBDC is a technology for creating and managing digital currency, they are related in that they are related in that CBDCs may be implemented using RFID. See that? See? RFID or other technologies for secure and efficient transaction, but their core purpose and underlying technology are fundamentally different. But one thing about it, even though they have a different purpose, but it's for the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact, You know what I'm saying? They're going to work hand in hand to bring forth this new beast banking system. You know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast, the Motb, the C help the grain of rice. So I just want to bring that out a little bit, and I'm hoping that you could you could receive it through the Spirit. If you get around to it, just look it up. Just type in, say what's the difference between RFID and CBD? What's the difference? But we know that this technology is going to work hand in hand. So we already know that they're going to implement this very soon. And one thing about it, we already know that time of trouble that we have never seen before. So now let's get a quick precept. Let's go here. Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2, it said, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. It said, let them be taken into devices that they have imagined. So one thing about it, when you go into that word device, it goes into their evil scheme, their plan, their agenda, let them be taken in what they imagine to what they have one word currency, one word government, one word religion, that, they will rule forever. And also turning man into machine, that's a very vain thing. And one thing about it, that is very prideful. But the Lord's getting ready to get ready to cease the arrogance of the proud. And we already know who are the most proud is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Let's read this once again. Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2, it said the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. And who is the wicked? Once again, the modern day so-called white man, red man of Genesis chapter 25 said, persecute the poor. Who is the poor? It's talking about Israel there, pretty much the elect. So let them be taken into the devices that they have imagined. That's what we want. The Lord is getting ready to do is take them in the devices, this technology, that they have imagined, this pseudoscience. But the Lord's getting ready to return, and cut all of this off. So we cannot wait. Right when the devil's getting ready to fill his belly, the Lord is going to cast the fury of his wrath upon him. And we cannot wait. So now, let's start today's video. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
And this gives Willie the willies. How does that feel in your hands?
Well, I can actually feel it. It's been in there. This one's been in since 2005, so 15 years. It takes only a couple days to heal, and after that, you kind of forget you have it.
And in 15 years, Amal Grafstra hasn't lost an ATM card or access pass, because with a secure chip implant in his body, contactless passwords and secure information are literally on hand anytime. With a wave, it does the same job as a traditional plastic card. So how would you convince me to do that?
I think the idea is that we're going to be developing a lot of compelling applications, from payment, so tap and pay, contactless, to securing everything from email to identity, getting rid of passwords, being able to log into things with just a scan or a tap, no more remembering this password or that one. And the fact that it's actually cryptographically secure, so somebody can't just read your chip and then go pretend to be you. It's actually a full cryptographic challenge support.
But you need an infrastructure to support this. What kind of development needs to be done in an ecosystem before this becomes really useful?
We have a backend that we've developed that works with this, so that supports very standardized protocols. So OpenID Connect, OAuth 2, OTP, one-time code generators. We're getting into U2F and other types of very standard web protocols. And that chip is actually inside of this injector. This is our EO gas sterilized injector system. We present this in a full kit that includes all the materials like gauze, standard drape, things like that. You can see we have the lot number here, the processing mark indicator, so indicating that it's a sterile package. This comes inside of a full kit. This kit is fully packaged with the injector and everything you need for the professional to perform the installation. But we have a professional partner network, so a network of medical doctors and also body piercers. You can bring the kit to a professional. They will perform it, the installation within 30 seconds. It's done. One of the things that we are very happy about is that this procedure is actually safer than an ear piercing.
So am I a suitable candidate to be a crypto-bionic man?
So you can put one here or in between here or here. You can see there's a blood vessel here, so we wouldn't do here, but maybe between here or along the knife edge. So we just lift up the skin like this and place the needle, eject it, and you're done.
Now, guess how many Amal has on hand?
Well, I have one here, here. I have a flat biopolymer one here and here.
At 2.1 by 14 millimeters, the power for it comes from a near-field communication or NFC reader.
You have a very powerful cryptographic token. It literally upgrades your capabilities as a human being, and you don't even think about it.
And what has consumer reaction been like?
I think it's about, I would say close to 25-30% people are freaked out, but most people are actually quite interested.
So if you're like me, who tend to forget things and leave things at home, or if you tend to lose your wallet or keys often, this might be a good alternative just to put your ID right in your hand. I'm Willie Fu. See it first on Storm Bites, right here on Techstone.
Australian cities are becoming digital surveillance precincts with so-called smart city programs being rolled out across the country. Invasive technology such as facial recognition cameras, license plate readers, smart lights, smart poles, smart cars, smart neighbourhoods, smart homes and smart appliances, all connected to wireless networks and communicating with each other. So what's wrong with that? Technology is good, isn't it? All this is for your safety, security and convenience, isn't it? Well, let me tell you, your streets are spying on you. Your mobile phone is spying on you. Your cities are spying on you. And the infrastructure for future lockdowns is being put into place right now. Don't be fooled. You're being set up to be tracked through your movements and through the future of your digital wallets. By handing over your data, you're handing over the ability to monitor your behaviour, which will soon be turned into a social credit score. And once the central bank digital currencies are in place, you won't get to spend your money without approval. Digital ID will soon become a reality in Australia. Many other countries are already rolling these systems out. Countries like Canada, Scotland and many others. Eventually, you won't be able to access any government or public services, and you won't be able to travel across borders or access healthcare or the internet without a digital ID. Think you won't comply? I think you will. The last 2 years were the dress rehearsal and we fell for it hook, line and sinker. Australians are sleepwalking into this technocratic future. And while we're sitting around, scratching our chins, trying to work out whether this is really happening, Australia is drifting towards a dystopian digital future.
So now you see how they just bring it, they bring it like it's going to be trendy. Your ID will be in your hand. So we're very close to these times. So we'll start off. We already know that they're going to come with this universal basic income. Also, we already knowing that it's going to be dealing with your biometric once again. Also, we already know that AI is taking over pretty much everything. So they rolling it out right before your eyes. So let's get this quick precept here. So, they trying to make it very trendy, like it's very safe, that it's something that is cool to take. But the Lord said, do not take it. If you take it, you're going to have to suffer that second death, which in fact is the lake of fire, which in fact is America. So let's go ahead to Isaiah chapter 32, just random scriptures. If we the prophets, what I'm saying? The Lord said, keep not silent, warn them for me. You see something, say something. I think it's what I want to get right here. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 7 said, the instrument also of the cherub are evil. Say he devises wicked devices to destroy the poor. Say with lying words, even when the needy speaketh upright. So one thing about who is this churl, this evil churl, the so-called white man, he devises, wicked devices, which in fact we're seeing that right now is getting ready to bring forth this new digital infrastructure, this working hand in hand with this RFD CHIP, also with this new CBDC, this digital infrastructure that he's getting ready to bring out, where they're going to be tracking and tagging you. And one thing about it, he trying to destroy the poor, which in fact are the Negroes, the Latinos, the native Israel, which in fact the Israel of the Most High, which in fact is the elect Salakia, and they said those are the one that is needed and what it speak is right, So one thing about it is that, we know that we're very close to them doing these things, So let's read in NLT. It said, the smooth tricks of scoundrels are evil. Said they plot crook schemes. Said they lie to convict the poor. Said even when the cause of the poor is just. So one thing about it, we seeing right now, who is this scoundrel? The red man, the modern day so-called white man once again, his tricks, his scheme, his plan. Total control, tracking and tagging to give you that grain of rice, that badge of servitude. So now let's go here. let's go here to let's go straight to the point. Let's go here to Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. Let's start there. So that's what they're putting in our face, right? Putting it right in our face. Let's put it like that. Revelation chapter 13. Let's start up at verse 15. And it reads, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and call that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So one thing about it's talking about, the image of the beast is what this system, saying that NWO, this new blockchain technology, and that beast is what the revised Roman Empire. And one day it's going to come up a particular time whereby, either you accept or, you will be put to death. That's why they have these guillotines put into place right now. So we're seeing that we're here. This system is into place. It's rolling it out right before our eyes. So we're seeing it right now. He had power to give life to the image of the beast. So we seeing it happen. The WEF, the WHO, all these things are coming in play. What they've been talking about, transhumanism, AI, robotics, biometrics, social credit score, universal basic income. These things are right before our eyes, tracking and tagging, digital IDs, man, we're here. Verse 16 says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, talking about what the Karagma, that RFD microchip, also going to work hand in hand with what that CBDC. That's why it's going to say you will not be able to buy or sell. That's why they get ready to replace money. Fiat currency. It's going to get ready to be a cashless society. Also, it said go into your forehead. That Neuralink. So see how these things are lining up. Elon Musk, this technology is already here. Verse 17 said, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You will not be a buy or sell if you're not going to be a part of this system, this new blockchain beast banking system that they are putting into place right before our eyes. So a lot of people are going to line up. They're going to trust in this technology and they will be totally destroyed. Let's go back. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 18. Say, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 600. 666. So this is, who has the understanding, the wise, what the true believers of Yahweh, we know exactly what this man is up to. And one thing about it, we don't want to be a part of this system, tracking and tagging, that badge of servitude, the charagma, these things are all coming into play. You already seen in the first video that they got the applicator, the Carax, all these things are coming into play, in this digital infrastructure. We're constantly warning you left and right. I'm not going to go into the interstellar today, a little bit under the weather, but I hope you receive it through the spirit. But we're seeing that we're here, so that tri-star stigma, that badge of servitude. So one thing about it, if you be a part of this system, it means that you are buying down, you making yourself a slave to this man's system that he's putting into place. But one thing about it, elect, we will not bend a foe. Do not take it. Trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord will see us to the finish line. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And we'll start up at verse, let's start up at verse 9. And it reads that even him who is coming after the workings of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. So that's exactly what he's coming with, this counterfeit power, this counterfeit signs and miracles. He's coming with this technology, this pseudoscience, this new blockchain technology. A lot of people going to be enticed. A lot of people going to be intrigued by it. They're going to lean and trust, and it shall pierce them in their right hand or in their forehead, And who is coming out to working of Satan? Who is the physical counterpart of Satan? Is what the modern day so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So this man is coming with all this this technology. A lot of people they're going to be deceived. And one thing about it, but the elect will not be deceived. Verse 10, it said, and with all deceivingness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Let's see, I might jump the gun a little bit. I should have got verse 8. But you know what I'm saying? Let's go up to verse 8 and read down again. It says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8. He said, and when shall so like 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8 said, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So one thing about it, that wicked shall be revealed. We already know who that is, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the modern day so-called white man. And the spirit of his mouth is the prophets. You know, it's in the brightness of his coming. When the Lord come on that fathership with great glory, great power, the Lord is getting ready to put an end to this nightmare, and we cannot wait. So that's what we constantly seeing right now. You know, so we seeing the man of sin is being revealed, and also we knowing that the prophets in the highways and the byways standing on their watch, and they'll stand on fire for Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, constantly warning you of all of these impending dangers. Verse 9 says, even him who is coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. Who is that? The so-called white man. The physical counterpart of Satan is the what? The so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, with this what? Lying what? Technologies, this lying pseudoscience, this lying AI, you know what I'm saying, robotics, you know, this transhumanism, this new digital infrastructure. You know, a lot of people gonna get enticed with these lying wonders. This Neuralink will make you see again, make you walk again, will make you smarter, will make you immortal. A lot of people gonna trust, they're gonna lean, and they will be totally destroyed. And one thing about the Lord said, do not take it. You will have to suffer the second death, which in fact is the lake of fire. Verse 10 said, and with all deceivingness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they have received not the love of the truth, that they might believe a lie. So a lot of people gonna believe that lie, you know what I'm saying, and they will be told destroyed. You know, with all this evil deception that this man is bringing. Let's read an NLT. Say he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So that's the what are the 2/3. And also these damn wicked heathen, we're not giving a damn about them no way. But one thing about it is that, you know, so a lot of people are going to be enticed. A lot of people are going to constantly love this world. This world is constantly fading away. And one thing about it, you know, if you're not seeking the Lord, you are seeking death. I say that a lot of time because that's just spiritual. And one thing about it is that, you know, we sound like a broken record, but these are the times that we're living in. My voice by dry and it's still a little bit under weather. But so a lot of people are going to get caught up in this last and final deception, you know, the hour of temptation, the hour of piercing. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it is that, you know, a lot of people are going to be deceived and going to go run head first, straight and take this, you know what. But one thing about it, you know what happened in 2020? You see how, you know, they just took it with just willfully ignorant. But one thing about it, the Lord already had blinded them. He don't want them. So verse 11, it says, and for this cause, the Almighty shall send them a strong delusion that they shall believe a lie. So a lot of people going to believe that lie. You know, because the Lord has put that strong delusion on them. The Lord has blinded them. The Lord has blocked them. You know what I'm saying? The door of repentance is closing. Verse 12, it says, and that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasures in unrighteousness. So one thing about it, you know, they had pleasures in it. And one thing about it, they will be totally destroyed. So we right upon this time, this technology is here, that stage is set, all things are ready. And one thing about it, you know, it's time to trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. We get ready to come upon Jacob's trouble. We get ready to come upon the hour of temptation, a time of trouble that we've never seen before. War is on, it's right here. It's right here. It's coming fast, approaching right here on Babylon the Great, America. You know, civil unrest, civil war, all sorts of chaos, all sorts of death and destruction. And in the Lord, we constantly warn you left and right. Do not take it. Trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we know we're coming upon this, digital infrastructure, which sound like a broken record, but these are the times that we're living in. And we're constantly warning you left and right. And famine of the word is fashionable. A lot of things are happening. We cannot hardly keep up with it. But one thing about it, you know, pray without ceasing. You know, so redeem the time wisely. And once again, trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, and he will see us to the finish line. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is Motb, update. So I give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. Shalom.